Welcome to Whistling Radio, hosted on the TotalRadio.com. Today we're doing a little bit of different setup. She is on her tablet, so we're doing a little different setup. I got a couple cameras set up, so you're going to be able to see me, and you're going to be able to see her. On YouTube, you are seeing me. Now she's running away. And live videos stopped. I will get them live videos to turn on here in a second. So the live videos I will have up on the other sites. If she wants to talk while I do that,
I will do that.
Let her get situated a little bit.
How's everybody doing tonight?
They can't answer you back.
We got a bunch of questions from you guys on No Fox this week, so we're going to bring those up. So we have the birdisms this week. It was really funny on No Fox. Tons of questions. Is cookware okay with your birds? Most is, unless it's too hot. If you don't want to get things too hot, because then the fumes will be in the air and potentially hurt or kill your bird. And let's see.
All right, I think I got all the cameras up. As you see, I got two cameras. So everyone watching us live on YouTube right now, it's a little dark. I'm not sure what's going on with that camera. I think it's because I have it actually set up through a USB port, and it might be taking some of the quality away. I'll push it this way so you guys can actually see me. And if you're live on No Flocks Given or on Whistling Radio, you're going to see Laura and my shoulder. So there's a lot of things we can do. I just have to get them organized a little bit better. Like these cameras, I can actually show both of us. I just have to figure it out how to have one channel, have two cameras on one computer, because everything gets ran off one computer here. While she has tablets and other computers on the other side, the actual radio show, all the live feeds, everything gets ran off my computer. So that's that. We should be broadcasting over the links posted also. I can actually check that right now, make sure, and we are broadcasting live through whistlingradio.com, and the links posted on No Flux Given and Whistling Radio Facebook pages. So it's been a pretty weird week. I don't even remember it. I've been, working a lot lately, and I kind of come in, go to sleep, go back to work. So what's been going on, Laura?
Not much. We have tons of questions. There was Stacy had asked, living with multiple birds, different size birds, big and small. What's the pros and cons with that and the safety aspects?
Well, what's been going on this week? We got the questions. We got to talk a little bit. We can't jump right into questions right now. The questions that go through, we'll go through them really, really quick. So what's been going on this week? Any cool stories with Max, the new birds, anything like that?
They had a lot of fun this week. Max seems to be adjusting pretty good. It still makes me nervous if they're near each other, but Max just sort of looks at him like, "What are you doing?" So it's nice to see him adjusting nicely to his little brother and sister. And they started brooding this week, I think, which is kind of interesting. They're calming down really nice, which is cool. You can hold them and pet them, and they're not so nippy and scared, which is nice. Really nice to see them settling down.
So that's all that's happened this week?
Yeah.
All right. So the show structure, I got to get involved with it a little bit. We got to get a show structure here, but I do have a few things that people have emailed me, and I have our email up for Laura or myself. Gary, you can actually just use our first name. It'll be Gary at whistlingradio.com or Laura at whistlingradio.com. And you'll be able to reach us at any time Any time you can reach us there. I have my email that sets up, goes right to my phone. If I am busy, I can't reply right away, but I have a few things that people asked. They asked about the contest that I thought about. Since I have Whistling Radio up and I have the forum up, I was thinking about doing a photo contest and a video contest. And it's going to be voted on by the listeners. We'll do a photo contest and we'll do categories each time we do one, like the funniest photo, the best outdoor photo, the best cage photo, stuff like that. And then it'd be voted on by you guys, the listeners. And then I was thinking about doing videos, same concept. It's going to be like the funniest video, the bird that talks the clearest, just different categories. And we'll vote on that, and we'll give away prizes. And someone asked, a couple people asked what kind of prizes I had in mind, and that's all up in the air still. I was thinking about, discounts at or gift cards at a bird store that's local to that person, or a bag of their favorite food, or there's so much stuff. Toys. When we get the toys going, we can give away toys, or bird cages. I just don't want to give away live animals. I don't believe that live animals should be given away as prizes. I don't like it at the fairs and festivals and stuff like that, so we're not going to do it on the radio. But supplies and stuff like that, or T-shirts, we're going to be getting Whistling Radio T-shirts made, coffee mugs and travel mugs, and all different types of stuff with the Whistling Radio logo on it. That for sure is going to be prizes. So we do have some ideas, but this is only the third show. So we're going to ease our way into that. And we're also going to donate ourselves, because we have donations set up for the Whistling Radio. So them funds can go into getting prizes and stuff like that. And I want to donate a portion of them every month. At the end of the month, we'll say we have this much money, and the people will vote what rescue that money will go towards. It's something I used to do on Herp Radio. And I used to take them funds and I donate it to a rescue or donate it to a cause. Everyone's going against owning reptiles, and there's laws that come up for them. And the reptile community actually have an organization called US ARC that fights these laws. And we'll donate money to them and stuff like that. So what we'll do is when we start getting the donations coming in, we'll actually set that up where a portion of that goes to the rescues, and we'll all vote on that. What rescue or what, place will get this money to help our hobby, the bird hobby, and so forth. I have been getting a lot of questions to the Total Radio email. I think I've gone through about 95% of them. I think there's a few more that I have to email back, but we're going to be working on that. Some of them are a little more in depth than a 2-sentence email back, because they're asking questions that need more in depth. Should I say answers than just that 2-liner? But one of them was, are we going to go to 2 to 3 times a week? It matters on the time. Right now, it's probably not a good time with Christmas right here. December, maybe at the beginning of the new year, we might go to 2 shows because we are getting a lot of listeners. I want to say that we had over 140 unique listeners to the first show. The second show did not get uploaded because Gary didn't have the volume turned up for the mics to be recorded. There's a different volume knob, and it didn't get recorded. So that was my fault, a little technical difficulty, but they are turned up now, and it's being recorded. I tested it out this morning, and everything's good there. So that's why show 2 is kind of in limbo. You can catch it on YouTube, and you can catch it on Facebook on the live feeds that we had that saved, but the actual download will not be there this time. But this one will be. Show 3 will be up, and we'll hopefully be continue doing an hour to 2 hour show. They've been going 2 hours. I think 2 hours is about maximum where we want to be at because it does get a little late, about 11 o'clock. And the other show, I was thinking about trying to hit it around 4 Central Time if we can get a time, get a day that works for us, or maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe do an hour show, 2 hour show in the middle of the week or on the weekend. But I just have to work out that day. That's what I got to do. I do have other radio shows that I have to get started and get going. I got the Reptile Radio Show I got to get going for sure. With my job in the radio, it takes up a lot of time because I'm either gone or I'm working here in the office. So, is there anything you want to add to that?
I think you got most of it.
Okay. So, I'm not sure what chat everyone is in. I'm sitting on NoFlux right now. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. Let's see if anyone's on Whistling Radio. There's one person on Whistling Radio that I can see. And let's see. And on YouTube, we have a couple listeners right now also. So cool. So we're about 11 minutes in. It's 9:12 p.m. Central Time in the United States. I know we have some people from Australia I do know that are listening. I talked to them via email. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if they listen live or if they listen to us through the podcast. And we got someone from New Hampshire, Sylvia. That's pretty cool. So we got people from across the pond, and we got people on the state side, and it's pretty fun. I was just doing an article today on No Flux Given and saying how many different people are on No Flux Given and how great it is that we can talk. I've been teasing them about the budgie thing, but just like that very thing, we had to talk about budgies and parakeets, and no one got upset. No one was throwing each other out the window, and we were having some fun on that thread. And no one got upset. So that's what No Flux is all about. No Flux Given is it's fun. That's what it's supposed to be. So if you want to, Laura, jump into your questions, and if you want to talk about it a little bit, I'll weigh in if I got something.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm drinking something.
You're drinking something?
Yes.
I forgot to write everybody's names down by your questions. I'm sorry, but we'll start at the bottom, work up. Soothing and calming a stressed bird. Gary's pretty good at this, but I know you just talk real calmly and keep your hands behind your back. Those are your wings to them. You just talk real calm and sweet, and maybe possibly try giving a treat while you're talking to them. And take it real slow. Don't try to be fast or mean or crabby, because that'll make them stressed out even more. So just be and it's going to take time. Take as much time as you can, and it'll be worth your while. It might take a long, long time, but it'll eventually happen.
When you have a stressed bird, how should I put it? You got to find out what it is stressing it out, and you're not going to be able to use that computer. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That mouse is not working.
Yeah, I believe that was Courtney's question.
But you got to find out what's stressing out the bird. Sure, I could tell you how to walk up to the bird, and I can tell you what to feed the bird. I can tell you how to talk to the bird, but it could be something as simple as a toy in its cage it doesn't like. It could be the position of its cage in the room. It could be just because it's new. I mean, some birds take longer to settle in than other birds, especially rescued birds. You got to remember that they've had a pretty tough life, and usually a rescued bird just got taken from their home that they've always known, and they get thrown into a big room with other birds, and then everyone comes in looking at them saying, oh, I might want that one, I might want that one, I might want that one. And then eventually you come along and say, I want to take that one home, and then it's thrown into another home within a couple months. Sometimes years, but you get what I'm saying is they rotate homes pretty quick, so that bird doesn't understand that it's a pet. It doesn't understand that it's an animal that's for our enjoyment. It just is like, what's going on? I don't get this. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer for them to settle in. And it's just not being stressed out. It's just got to get used to its surroundings. But the best thing to do is figure out, you got to watch your bird and find out what makes it happy. If it's music, certain music make them happy, certain music doesn't. if clicking is better for your bird, or whistling, or certain sounds, and find out what calms the bird down and continue to do that. Like I give you an example, like Max likes clicking, but the conures don't like when I do it. I do it to Max, and Max come right up to me, and they'll sit there. The conures will fly away from me. It is what it is. But if I whistle, the conures come up to me. So, and if I whistle, Max kind of just looks at me and does his meow sound. So each bird's going to be a little different, and how you go about that stress level. The best thing when you approach a new bird, though, is keep your hands behind your back. I can't stress that enough. When you have your arms out and you put your arms towards them and try to touch them, they look at that as aggression at first, and they're going to protect themselves. They don't know what's going on, and they will lose that. Like Max now, I don't have to approach him with my hands behind my back anymore. I can just reach out to him being anywhere, and he doesn't care. That took about 10 months. It took 10 months for me to be able to do that with Max. And now I can touch him at any time and do whatever I want. But we built that trust. It's a trust thing. And he knows I'm not going to hurt him. I could have a stick, and he thinks it's a comb. And he'll put his head down now and let me comb him with a stick. I'm not joking. I wonder if Flora's ever got it on video. But he'll do that. So stress birds is different for every bird, and you got to watch it. You got to watch what's causing it. You got to see when they're flipping out the most. If they flip out in the morning the most, what's going on in the morning that's making them flip out? If they're flipping out at night, what's causing them to flip out at night? Maybe it's the kids coming home from school. Maybe it's because the dog does something at a certain time, the cat. Maybe it's because you're watching a certain TV show. You got to find it. And it doesn't mean you never could do that again. You just got to get the bird used to what you're doing. Okay? What else we got?
We got how unfortunate it is that a lot of people don't rescue birds, but they would rather have a brand new bird than take time and love to one that has been damaged.
That's a tough one. I don't ever want to discourage people from getting into the bird hobby. And if they want a new bird, it is easier to buy a new bird than to rescue a bird. And if it's your first bird, it's really tough. You could have a really bad experience rescuing a bird. So it's a catch-22. I could tell people, go out and rescue a bird, don't buy a bird. And they've never had a bird before in their life, and they get the bird, they have a bad experience, and the bird ends up in a rescue again. And the cycle continues. Or they can go get a hand-fed bird and learn from that bird that's going to be calm and bond with them as a baby, and they learn the little twerks and stuff that the bird has. I'm a pure adoption person. I love adopting more, but like I said, I've been in the reptile and animal game for a very, very long time. And I still buy new animals. Like if I want a certain reptile, I'll go out and buy it if I can't find it. So it's a catch-22. I do like adopting. And you guys are going to find out that I sit the fence with a lot of things. I have my view, but I'm never going to force my view onto somebody unless it harms the animal. I feel that if someone's going to get into the hobby and they get the wrong bird at the rescue, let's say the person wants an African gray. This is how I would put it. If the person wants an African gray and they're set on an African gray and they keep going to rescues and none of them African grays are, selecting them and they're all getting aggressive, but they want to adopt because everyone's pushing them to adopt, and they, adopt the wrong African gray and they get lit up by that African gray, they're going to lose interest in the hobby and they're going to give up that bird again. But if they want to, should I say, go purchase a new baby, that might be a better round for them, and they learn from that and they learn birds, and then on their second purchase of a bird they might go adopt, because let's not be liars. Most of the people that own birds own more than one, and they want to go back out for more birds. So it's kind of like when people ask me how to get ready for venomous snakes, and this kind of goes into what my what was it 17 rules I posted on No Flocks Given. I had 17 rules. People say that you got to train for the bird that you want, and if you want a big beak bird, you got to get a little beak bird first. How the hell do you train for a bird by getting a bird that's not it? And someone in the venomous world, you guys are going to hear me reference venomous reptiles a lot because used to be a really large venomous keeper. And people say, I want to get a monocle cobra. Should I get a rattlesnake first to train for a monocle cobra? Well, a rattlesnake's not going to act like a monocle cobra. A rattlesnake's not going to strike like a monocle cobra. And the protocol, if you get bit, is going to be totally different for a rattlesnake than a monocle cobra. And I mean, there's nothing that's the same. Not one thing. Well, and then they go, well, how do I learn? You get a mentor when it comes to venomous reptiles. You get a mentor, and you work with their snakes, and you learn from them, and they teach you. You can do that with birds too. You can find a rescue, the right rescue that would teach you how to deal with birds, if you want. But let's be honest, if a bird bites you, it's not going to kill you. But a venomous reptile bites you, you're going to die. That's why training's a little bit more in depth when it comes to venomous reptiles. But when it comes to a bird, if you go out and buy yourself a nice hand-fed African gray parrot, and you learn with it and grow with that parrot, you're going to grow and you're going to learn and be a very, very powerful person in the African gray world. You're going to learn your bird. You're going to make mistakes. Everyone does. And anyone out there that says they don't make mistakes they're wrong. They're making a mistake by saying they don't. That's why I think that the adoption thing, when people push it pretty hard, they got to think of that. You could be damaging the bird in a future bird owner by telling them to go adopt, and they don't find that bird they want. Because if they want an African gray, why should they go in and get a macaw, even if it chooses them? They're not going to be happy with that macaw. They want the African gray. Their heart's set on an African gray. Now, some people just want to choose a bird and get a bird, and they go in and it chooses them. That's awesome. That's amazing. That's a perfect scenario. But some people go in wanting a lovebird, or they go in wanting a cockatiel, or they go in wanting a ringneck parakeet, or they go in wanting an Amazon parrot, or scarlet macaw. They have their heart set on it. And it's easier to buy that baby that's hand-fed than it is to go to and try to adopt one, because you might go into your rescues, there's 3 rescues around you, and there's only 3 scarlet macaws, and they all want to eat your face. So it's kind of hard for me to, I look at both ways. I look at both sides of the story. Now, do I agree with people that go out and buy babies, give them up the rescues, go buy more babies, give them up the rescues? No, them people need to stop. Once you buy a bird, the only reason that you should ever give up that bird is health. And it's your health, not the bird's health. If you cannot physically take care of that animal anymore, then it's okay. You find a rescue or find someone to take over for you. But other than that, just because it bites you, you shouldn't get rid of the bird. Just because it's not eating the food you want, you shouldn't get rid of the bird. So buying new and adopting, I kind of see both sides. And you guys see that when I start posting more on the forums on Whistling Radio, and I post on No Flux Given and stuff like that. You'll see that I might not agree with someone, but I see where they're coming from. I understand where they're coming from, and that's the reptile keeper in me. That's the venomous keeper coming in me. That I'm not elite. Even if I own the most rarest birds in the world, I'm not elite to anybody else. It's just I took my branch and went that way with it. That's what I did. So I can go on for hours about that subject. So
yeah, I actually made a post about that today because I was from the 17 rules. I posted kind of everywhere, and everybody was getting a kick out of it. But there was a few people that went back and forth, kind of battling about you have to adopt, and basically you're crap if you don't adopt. And I said, I'm kind of both ways on the fence, I got lucky with Max.
The big thing about the people that say adopt only, adopt only, adopt only, I guarantee if there was no rescues, they were buying birds or a breeder. So it's a catch-22. I'll give you an example. In the reptile game, there's a lot of people that say you got to love the hobby. And there's people that are only in it for the money. And then same people will sit there and complain when the market goes lower on a snake. Now, you guys are used to some $3,000 and $5,000 birds, okay? I'm going to tell you something now. There's snakes out there worth $50,000. There's snakes out there that went for into six figures, $150,000 to $175,000. And it's I always told Laura, breeding reptiles sometimes is like dealing drugs, but legal. If you get the right animal and the right, hit. Like leopard geckos, my most expensive leopard gecko ever sold was $5,400 for a gecko, for a leopard gecko. It was a certain morph, and I was the first in the world to produce it. So the bird game is actually very, very cheap when it comes to money. What it takes to get a bird. That's why you see a lot of birds in the rescues, is because, especially when you rescue a bird and people are like, why does the rescues charge $750 for a bird? Well, if they only charge you $50, it wouldn't be that much. It wouldn't be as big a decision for you. And owning a bird's a big decision. And they got to run their rescue. My rules when I made it up, I forget what post made me post that. There was something that made me post it. There was something I read that said, I'm just going to make up rules. And there was stuff I missed. If you guys go on No Flux Given.
It was Birdisms. And I think her name, I don't remember what her name is, but she just joined No Flux Given because she got mauled in another group about she was going to adopt a green and gold on Sunday. Her bird's coming home on Sunday. And they had told her all these crazy rules right here. And then, so I made the post about she got mauled by some bird Nazis, and then everybody started talking on it, and then she made a cute little post up there about her birdisms and what everybody told her.
Oh.
And I think that's where it came from.
I think that's what it came from. And I'm going to tell you guys something, and a lot of the people that's owned their bird for 20, 30, 40 years is going to agree with me. All the stuff that you guys are seeing today was born when social media was born. And some of it's true. Do not get me wrong. Some of it's...
Ashley.
What's that?
Yes, it was Ashley. That was her post.
Oh. Some of it's very true. Some of the stuff that's posted, but some of it gets taken to the extreme. There's a difference. There's a difference when it's like, hey, watch this, or hey, don't do this. And I made the rules because of the stuff I read and the stuff that I see online. Like the biggest pet peeve I have, and all when they say you got to have a big enough cage for the bird. Okay, fair enough. You do, and it's got to be able to spread its wings out. Yep. It should. And you've got to fill it with toys. Well, how does the bird spread its wings out? How can it even find a perch now? I see people fill the bird cage with tons and tons of toys. And I'm like, if your bird is spending 24 hours in that cage anyway, you're a bad bird owner. Your bird shouldn't be in the cage. Our birds are out all the time. It's just something that you should do. Now, I do understand that the birds sometimes have to stay in the cage for 24 hours or whatever time frame it has to stay in the cage. But if you're putting toys in there because you're too lazy to take care of your bird, the bird might not be the pet for you. Like, call me up. I'll get you a snake. A snake can stay in the cage for 7-10 days. It can stay in there all month. It won't care. Just give it water and feed it. It don't care. It don't need love. But a bird's a little bit different. And most of us know this. And I made them rules because I see people contradicting it. They'll say, do this, but you can't do that. And it's like, okay. Like, don't feed pellets, don't feed seeds, feed this vegetable, not that vegetable, do this and do that. And the funniest thing I seen is on one of the bird pages, I forget which one it was, someone said not to feed certain fruits that the bird ate in the wild. And I was like, but they eat it in the wild. And I posted it. I'm like, but they eat that. That's like one of their staples in the wild. And they said, but it's not in captivity, and they don't like it in captivity. And in captivity, they'll die if they eat that fruit.
Was that too many grapes or something?
I forget which fruit it was. I honestly do. I see so many posts, guys. I'm sorry. But I was just like, but they eat it in the wild. And she just stopped talking to me, I guess. I don't know. But the thing is just because you read it on the internet doesn't mean it's true. I'm going to give you an example. I don't think harnesses are good for birds. But that doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing with a harness. I just don't do harnesses. Laura might want to do harnesses one day. That doesn't mean she can't. I just don't believe in them. I believe that they could actually harm the bird. But does that make me 100% right? And should I go ahead and yell at people when they post that they got a harness on their bird that they've had for 15 years and they've harnessed it for 15 years? I got to say, I might be wrong with that bird. The bird's been harnessed for 15 years. Nothing's ever happened to it. So at the same time, I can give my opinion, but just because I give my opinion doesn't mean that you have to agree with my opinion. And that's the beauty of being human. You don't have to agree. If we were all the same, life would be pretty boring. And I mean, just like food, we're not all going to agree on food. I've seen people sit there and go, don't feed pellet diets, and then turn around and say that they feed this pellet diet. I'm like, what? You were just yelling at that other person the other day not to feed pellets, and now when you're asked what you feed, you say this certain pellet diet? Okay. And I don't know. I just don't like them people that they argue both sides of their mouth, so they're right at that conversation, or they can argue during that conversation. Should I say? I don't know. Yeah, the birdisms, the stuff like no cookware. Guys, the cookware can harm them. It can. If the bird's sitting over it and you're cooking it and sitting there for hours and you're blowing it in their face and everything else, normal cooking, you should be okay. Don't have the bird in the kitchen with you when you're doing it. You know, your bird shouldn't be set up in the kitchen anyway. Baking sheets, you should be okay. Light bulbs, the bird shouldn't be near a light bulb. But light bulbs in your house, you should be fine. It's been that way. Hair dryer, you shouldn't actually be taking a hair dryer to the bird ever. You shouldn't have to. I've seen people tell Laura, and I'm not joking, my number 12 rule was it that if you get the bird wetted, a mold and die. Someone told Laura that the bird a mold. My number one thing when Laura tells me, she reads things, I'm like, you're totally 100% right. When they're out in the wild, they see a puddle of water or they see a lake, and they're like, oh, I can't go in there because I'm going to mold and die. No, they if you watch a bird, they actually dry pretty quick. You don't even have to take a towel to them. They actually dry pretty quick. They're built that way. That's what they're so they can fly. So when they go and take a bath, they can actually fly shortly after. They're not going to mold and die. I promise you. Anyone that tells you that is off their rocker. Other things, kitchen utensils. You shouldn't let your bird play with stuff anyway that you don't know. I say this: if you have a question about it, don't let your bird play with it. I even had to tell Laura this sometimes. He has plenty of toys. He doesn't need any more, even though it's cool. Tupperware. What are they saying? The plastic? What about Tupperware?
She said that that's dangerous for the birds. Just she couldn't find any source of it anywhere.
I've never heard of that. That's why I was asking. I never heard. So if anyone's ever heard and they have a link or some info about Tupperware being bad, I don't know. Maybe that goes on with the plastic and the people saying that PVC is bad for birds. Certain PVC can be, but certain PVC is not. No candles. I do agree with that. You don't want to be burning candles in the same room. But let's say you got a 2-story house and you want to burn candles upstairs. It's not going to hurt your bird. But don't burn candles all the time around your bird. No. No scented heated wax. You don't want to do that either around your bird. Pet bird on head. It will masturbate. I proved that wrong. petting the bird. I have no clue where all this came from, but we only have Max for me to show you guys. I go up to him, I pet him everywhere and anywhere, and he never tries to breed me. He never tries to protect me. He doesn't give a shit. He just wants me to scratch him. That's all he wants. He's like, scratch me. But petting your bird on the head's totally fine. Pet him on the neck's totally fine. Pet him on the back's totally fine. Now, if they're actually doing something to your hand, you might want to stop.
I just keep moving, Max.
Yeah, during that time, you might want to stop. But to give you an example, the conures we got, I'm pretty sure are a pair. They're doing things that a pair of birds do. And my 8-year-old walks around with them still all day. So it matters how they're socialized, and the more you deal with your birds, the more you'll see it. So then birdisms or whatever you call it, odd dangers no one knows of. I got some odd dangers, but some people get upset at me.
We have one question. Well, there's a bunch of questions on the live.
Go
One
ahead.
is, could you please tell me about severe macaw? I'm having a really hard time getting to eat anything but seeds. That's Sandy Romo.
Oh, severe macaw, so he's raised on seeds. The problem you're going to have to do, and I know this is going to be tough, is not give them seeds. Only give them pellets or fresh vegetables and fruit. Or if that doesn't work and he doesn't eat in a day or two, then you might want to put a little bit of seed in there and see if you could get him to eat something else and find something else that he wants to eat. You guys got to remember, some of these birds, not sure how old your bird is, but 20, 30-year-old birds, that's what thought they were eating. They were eating seed mix. Back in my day when I ran a Pet Supply Plus, that's what the birds ate. There was pellets, but they ate seed mix. That's what we did. And, of course, we learned different stuff as we went. The best thing to do is not offer him any seed and only offer the other food. If you start seeing that he's not touching anything after a day or two, possibly give him some seed again and get him eating. But he should switch over. It's just going to be tough for him, however old he is. He's been eating that for a very long time. Or find a treat that he likes that is a treat to him but isn't. Like bananas. Bananas are great to try. Apples are another good one to try. Peas are another good one to try. Green beans are a good one to try. Stuff that they can peel apart to get to what they want. That's always good stuff to try. Like just hand them a banana. Like cut it up, leave the peel on it, everything. Just there you go.
Like cut it in half?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can peel that off. They love that. So is there other questions?
Do you think canaries should be out with parrots?
Any bird can be out with any bird. It matters on the bird. If you go to Toledo Zoo, I recommend anyone to look up the aviary in Toledo Zoo. Toledo Zoo has a beautiful aviary. They have big birds with little birds. No joke. As long as the little bird can get away if the big bird does something. So if the little bird lands next to him on a perch, the bigger bird, it can fly away and get away from it if it needs to be. So what you're looking to do is you want to introduce them slow. Our two conures, you guys know Max and Moluccan, a very big cockatoo. And green cheek conures are tiny little birds, and they're out together all the time. Max don't like when they're flying around because Max can't fly. Max has something wrong with that one wing. If you guys haven't noticed in the videos, he can't fly. So when stuff's flying around him, he kind of goes a little nuts, but he's starting to calm down about it. The birds sometimes take laps around our living room. He don't like that so much. But yeah, what you want to do is, when you let them out, keep an eye on them. Or if you got a small enough cage, put the larger bird next to the small cage and see how he reacts to it. But usually they're pretty good because our parrots aren't bird of prey.
I didn't mean with parrots. I mean bring them out because I have a big giant flight. They aren't tame. I'm not sure how to begin to tame them.
Canaries are hard. But yeah, you can let canaries out in flight rooms. It don't hurt them none. I know this sounds bad. If you can't catch them, get a net. That's probably going to be the easiest way. It's going to stress them out a little bit, though. But if you don't mind them flying around, you don't want them in a cage, they can flight all the time. Canaries tend to be a little flighty, just like finches. But you can get a canary to sit on your foot, or your foot. You can get a canary to sit on your foot, on your hand. You can get it done. The best way to do it is take their food, put it in the palm of your hand, let the canary jump on your hand, eat out of your hand. Keep doing that for a while, and that will get him or her to trust you enough to jump on your hand. That's a very quick way.
Sylvia says she's been. I thought she asked how to get him to stop, and I said, "What?" I thought there's, doing your hand. She says, "No, pulling on tail, so folding self in half. Satisfying herself." How do you get that to stop?
Chew toys. The more toys, the better. You're going to want toys, something to keep them occupied. And you got to find that out. Try music. Music is a good thing. Max likes music. Try different types of music. Even going out to buy an Alexa and one of them little $30 things and play music all day for them. That's a good thing to do. Keep a TV on. Sometimes does it. Because contact with you isn't going to really stop it right away, but you got to keep them busy. Toys, them snuggle things actually work pretty good too. You can make them by just going to buy fleece and tie knots and make something they can snuggle into. Max has one, but he doesn't use it.
He must use it at night because I looked at it lately and it's kind of raggedy.
I think he chews on it. Oh. The other thing, you don't want to fill the cage up with too many toys where they can't, spread their wings and get around. But you want to put it plenty in there. But even if you have to put a box, some people are going to yell at me about this. Even if you have to go get a box and put it down at the bottom of the cage and let the bird play with the box. Because the first thing is to get it to stop plucking. The birds in boxes don't make them mean. And if you start seeing a different aggression out of them, you can take the boxes away. That's where I would start is, try to get them occupied with anything. Music, TV, sounds.
Chunks of wood.
Anything impossible. Anything. They keep them busy. Because he's probably going a little nuts. And if you just got him, of course, once he settles in, you'll see a different bird.
Let's see.
I'm sitting back.
My bird goes nuts for pie. Doesn't matter any kind. What kind?
Just pie?
Yep.
Pie's
nuts.
Good.
Yep. Pies.
Pies are good.
What about not having an avian vet in the state you live in?
That's a tough one. The best thing you can do is call around and try to get any exotic vet and see if they'll see your bird and see if they have a contact to help them out. To give an example, like if there's a reptile vet near you, the reptile vet should be able to help you with the bird, help you in that direction. That's what the best thing you can do is call around and see if one would see you, and I'm sure they got contacts to help them out, and help them go forward with it. And I don't want to say learn on your bird, But that's probably your best bet is to find someone that's willing to open up their practice to a bird.
Sylvia said she's not a chewer. I've had her for 15 years. She's good with playing her toys all day, and she wakes up in the middle of the night.
Oh, is it
one
the
the-
severe?
No, wait. Let's see. She said that she's folding herself up and satisfying herself.
Oh,
Don't some of them just do it? That's just what they do.
I don't even know how to go about that. I might have to research that a little bit and maybe send out some emails and get you some answers. I will try to get them emails out tonight after the radio show and see if I can get some of my friends to help out with that. I honestly don't want to tell you something. I don't know how to get her to stop doing that.
Do you have to worry about impacted crop with Max chewing on that, this or that, if he just hardcore eats it?
Max doesn't ingest anything he chews on. He spits it out. And we've never had any problem with Max impacting. Now, Max is 20 years old. So, I mean, he's been around the block a few times. But every toy we give him, every piece of plastic, anything we give him, he does not eat. Literally, he tears it up and spits it on the ground, and he thinks it's a game.
Maybe that's what's wrong with my severe macaw. I've only had her 1 month, and she won't give you any vegetables. Eat apples, some fruit, but still just seeds, not even sprouts.
Yeah, our issue is when you adopt a bird that however old they are, they were living one way for that time. And then when everything drastically changes on them, their home, the people around them, their food, they kind of shut down, you can say. So you want to introduce things slowly to them. That's why when you go to a rescue, you ask them what have they eaten, and I'm sure you did. What are they eating? How long has it been here? Max was at that rescue for 4 weeks, if that.
Yeah, if that.
So, we didn't find out that he liked, what was it? Was it strawberries he liked a lot?
Yeah.
Or popcorn.
Oh, popcorn. Oh, my God.
The owner must have gave him popcorn all the time because he knows what a popcorn bag is. And he goes nuts. If we get popcorn, oh my, the bird acts like it's never seen popcorn in his life and it wants it all. I mean, he will dive into a popcorn bowl. So we didn't know that. And so we made popcorn one night and we're like, what is going on with it? And he goes nuts.
It's funny.
So you're still learning with a month of a bird. We're still learning with Max. Max just started liking the last few months that we take things. It used to be he would go off if we had anything in our hand. Now he thinks every single thing's a comb. So he's got to that point where he's trusted us enough to do that. You just got to keep an eye on them little signs saying, hey, I like that. I don't like this. I like that. I don't like this. And try to do the stuff that he likes more than the stuff that he doesn't. But we all know that sometimes we got to do stuff that we don't like.
Yeah, like Max. I thought he wasn't going to eat very much. He didn't want to eat this or that, but then slowly he started eating more. Like I would just try a little bit of one thing and then switch to another thing because they said, oh, he likes chop. Make him chop. Make him chop. And he looks at it like it's puke. He still won't touch it. Stuff. No, he wants nothing to do with it. He wants the food whole where he can peel his peas, anything that can be peeled. He loves to peel it. Like he tried to peel some mashed potatoes one day. I'm like, no, you can't peel mashed potatoes.
And the whole point about this is no bird's the same. No Moluccan cockatoo's the same. To give you an example, Andrew Caesar, I guarantee he's not the same as Max. They're both Moluccan cockatoos, but they're not the same.
Yeah.
They're going to like different things. They're going to do different things. So that's why I get so upset when people go online and they're like, you got this type of bird, you have to do this. It's different.
It's like people, everybody, they're all different.
Some birds might like bells, some birds might not like bells as toys, some birds might like wood. And here's something with wood that a lot of people do make mistakes. You don't want hardwood, you want softwood. The bigger birds, you can get away with hardwood a little bit, but you want the softer wood. You want to be able to destroy it. The hardwood, they're not going to be able to destroy as fast. You want them to be able to go through a block of wood within 15 minutes. That's what you want.
And not treated. It can't be treated.
Yeah, you don't want treated lumber. Treated lumber is not for water. Treated lumber is to kill bugs. People don't understand that. They think pressure treated lumber is for water, and it's not. They pressure treat it to keep bugs out of it. No joke. So that's a poison inside there. If you get a sliver from treated lumber, you got to go in and make sure you're okay.
Let's see.
So what else we got?
Let's see. Rusty says everything in his dog's. I'm not sure if Rusty thinks everything in my dog's hands. In my hands is treats for my dog, no matter what it is.
So yeah. The truth is birds are probably the next closest thing to being domesticated. And let's be honest, a well-bonded bird's probably more of a friend than a dog. They're going to live longer, and the bird's going to bond with you no matter what.
Pine.
Huh? Pine is a great wood to give, yes. Any of them soft woods that they can tear up. I know you're like, well, the bird goes through it so quick. That's the point. They'll actually get bored and give up trying to chew on the harder stuff.
Yeah, Max doesn't like those we've got hardwood little spindles about a garage sale, big buck of them for $1.
And you don't like them.
No.
You can't destroy them as fast. They want something they can destroy. That's why they like boxes. They like paper. They can just destroy it, shred it. And it keeps their mind busy. It keeps them busy. Because can you imagine just sitting on a perch all day?
Be bored stuff.
There you go. The people having trouble with birds too, make sure no stuffed animals are around. Stuffed animals tend to upset the birds too, unless they're used to them. Some people's birds like stuffed animals, but that's something I found out too. Oh man.
Living with multiple birds. Big versus small.
That's just time.
Yeah. Cage cleaning, what not to use and what to use on the bottom and how often.
There is a thing I'm going to tell you guys about, and I've never seen a bird person say this at all. I've never seen a bird person ever go to this. Chlorhexidine.
Aha.
Chlorhexidine is safe enough I can drink it. I can drink it and it won't affect. I mean, I might, pee or something, but it's safe. And it kills I think it stays like 99% of bacteria. Chlorhexidine is the thing where if you get a cut, if you ever got a cut, the hospital soaks your hand in a solution. If your cut is on your hand, that's chlorhexidine. No joke. Chlorhexidine is safe for everybody. The only thing that people don't like is sometimes you got to put a little bit more elbow grease in it. It doesn't suds up. I tell people they can use a Joy dish soap in a bucket because that's safe for birds. Scrub down the cage, and then you spray chlorhexidine afterwards and wipe it down.
How about Dawn?
Or Dawn. Most of your dish soaps are actually safe. Joy is actually known for it, and Dawn is actually known for it. So, it's safe for the birds. You don't have to worry about it. Don't go out. Bleach. If you don't get bleach all the way off, it can harm your bird. Ammonia, all that stuff. So Windex, try not to use Windex. Windex can be harmful to animals. But yeah, chlorhexidine can be bought if you're in Wisconsin or you have a Fleet Farm near you. I know Fleet Farm or Farm Fleet. I know that sounds funny me saying both, but if you have a Fleet Farm, you know what I'm talking about. If you have a Farm Fleet, you know what I'm talking about. They used to be owned by the same people, and then they split up. Or if you can go to a Tractor Supply would have it, and the color is blue. And it's concentrated. You take a cap full of that and put it into a regular size spray bottle and add water to it. A gallon of the stuff will last you forever. And you spray down stuff, and you can use it on your kitchen countertop. You can use it after you cut. No joke. You could cut raw chicken on the countertop. I will spray it down with this, wipe it up, and I'll put a piece of bologna on that countertop and then eat it. It's that good. So Chlorhexidine is something that you're gonna want to look into. There are other products that reptile users use. It does get a little pricey, but Chlorhexidine is probably the best place to go. What else we got? I don't think you're prepared.
Shush. What to put in the bottom of the cage, like newspaper or wood clippings, or
Don't use cedar. I couldn't believe the Conyers when we got it had cedar chips. I say use newspaper. I know it might make your time a little, more clean time for cleaning, but newspaper seems to be the best.
I like it because I just roll it up, fold it up, and throw it away.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple. If you want to, they got them corn pieces or whatever they're called. I can't think of what they're called. You can buy them at any pet store. They tend to be okay too. But I just use newspaper. I mean, if you got I call them California cages, where the grates above so the bird can't sit on the paper, it's better to use paper. You might want to use something else if the bird can sit on it, because they might go down there and just tear up the paper anyway. Max doesn't.
I was just gonna say he does it.
He does it anyway.
And you can see their droppings if they're sick.
Then
too.
you can see your droppings. You can see what it looks like.
Spices are there some that are okay for a bird. I wanted to give my Moluccan a bite of my apple pie. And she didn't want him to get sick.
I honestly don't know the list of spices that would hurt a bird. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. I could not tell you. I would have to look into the spices and see what's wrong with it. And this is all stuff that's going to go up on whistlingradio.com. I will try to get legit facts, talk to veterinarians, and get facts and put them up on whistlingradio.com.
Are they like corn husks?
Yeah, corn husks are fine.
What about butcher block paper?
I've never done it, but it shouldn't hurt anything because it is not toxic.
What's wrong with cedar? I've heard that before, but I didn't.
Cedar has an oil in it, and I know in mammals it causes problems with respiratory. And the reason I say I wouldn't do it with birds is, if people don't know, back in the day when there was mines, well, there's still mines today, but there's different ways to figure this out. They used to keep birds down in the mines because when there was a gas leak or something down there that would kill the humans, the birds would die first. The birds are sensitive to stuff like that. So in my theory is the oils in the cedar are going to end up, giving them a respiratory infection also, just like it does. If you put mice on cedar, you'll lose mice or guinea pigs. Now, I know someone's going to say, I use cedar my whole life. It does happen, but it does happen the other way too. It's a proven scientific fact that cedar is not healthy for small animals. So I say don't use it for birds either. It's the oils that are inside the cedar.
A new home adjustment, how long does it usually take?
It matters on the bird. It honestly does. The younger the bird, the faster it's going to be. Usually. The younger the bird, or should I say, younger the bird and the situation it was in. If you have a bird that every time the man walked by the bird cage, hit the bird cage with his fist and walked away from it, that bird's going to be traumatized a little bit more. But then one that was loved the whole time, it was given up because of health reasons. But I've seen birds adapt instantly, like Max did.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then the Conyers seem to be taken to my daughter at 8 years old. And it's been, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks?
2.5, I think.
About 2.5 weeks. They're still not adapted to me 100%. But my daughter works with them every single day. Like, I am not joking. If she's out, the birds are out. I mean, she's home, the birds are out. And she's got the birds. Anywhere she goes, the birds fly and follow her. I'm like, okay. So it matters on the bird. There's no time frame really. You'll see it. You'll see the change. You'll see that turn where I'm getting tired again. You'll see that turn, and you'll know when it happens. I promise you.
What about keeping the bird in the cage during taming?
I don't. I know it sucks getting bit. I know, but how are you going to tame it with it being in a cage? I mean, and I don't even want to say tame. I don't like that word. I like the word trusting.
Yeah.
How are you going to get it to trust you? I guess you can. It matters on the bird. The smaller birds, I guess you can go in and have it sit on your finger and stuff like that. But a bigger bird is going to be hard. You'll have to get in the cage with it.
Courtney, I believe, has a lovebird.
A lovebird, yeah, you can go in there. The smaller birds, put food in your hand, the palm of your hand, and have it jump on your hand and eat from your hand. You're going to get bit. It's just going to happen. I gotten bit by the conures, and there's a little technique that you can do, but I'm not going to explain it because you do it wrong, you can hurt the bird.
So here we go. Tomatoes. Someone must have went off on her about do not feed tomatoes.
Tomatoes have a lot of acid in it. Any acidy stuff can be bad for birds after so many, but feeding it some tomatoes ain't going to hurt it. Birds like tomatoes. Most birds will. To let you know, most birds will love tomatoes. So, I mean, would I feed a bird, even Max, a whole tomato? No. Chop it up, give him a few pieces. It's not going to hurt him none.
What about mammals and birds? Like, where was it?
Dogs, cats.
Yep. It was.
It's more so on your dog or cat.
What kind of germs can they pass off? Like bacteria? Can it hurt?
If your cat goes outside, you can pass on stuff. Fleas are something that you want to stay away from. Now, I know people are going to yell, birds can't get fleas. Birds can get fleas. Birds can get a flea does not say, hey, there's a bird. I'm not going to go ahead and get on that. Why birds don't get fleas that quickly or get fleas at all is because they're up in the air. They're on their perches. But fleas bite your ankles. If you have fleas, you'll see bite marks on people's ankles all the time. But fleas can make dehydrate a bird really quickly, and birds dehydrate really quickly as it is. So that's one thing you got to watch. If your cat goes outside, you got to watch stuff getting brought in. If they're indoor cat, not so much. Anything, the dog going in and out too, you got to worry about. But as long as your animals are healthy and taken to the vet, you shouldn't have an issue.
How to keep your cage free of little ones' hands getting bit, like towards the bottom and where they can reach without them putting their hands on the
I guess
plastic?
you can put plexiglass there.
That's a good idea.
I mean, little ones, like I would say under 3, after 3, I'd let them get bit. Teach them a lesson. No, you can do plexiglass, I guess. You're not going to like it because it's going to get dirty really quick. Plexiglass scratches really easy too. But plexiglass can be used. You don't have nothing else, do you?
I think that's it.
Yes.
Let's see how the other.
We're rocking
I see comments coming down.
Oh, that's cool. I've been working on some jingles. I'm trying to get a jingle done for No Flocks. Yeah, No Flocks Given.
Let's see. You guys got any more questions? Or something you want to talk about?
Are you jumping all over?
Yeah, I'm checking all the pages. I didn't check Whistling Radio yet, so you might want to.
I thought you said checking all the pages.
I was on YouTube.
Hi, everyone on Whistling Radio. Well, I got tons of questions. No, commented on no flocks reacted. I got 58 people that liked my rules that I expect everyone to follow them. Everyone to follow them.
I got that and a little bit more on the other page. Each page had about 50 of them that I put on the different bird groups.
Whoa.
That's cool. Oops. Did that go? I think that might have went over. There. Oops. That was my friend.
Someone says Rest. I can't say Rest is right name, so he just says Rasty. I can't pronounce it. So that I can see a bonded bird. Bonded birds look so loyal. They're really loyal.
They are loyal because birds are one of the very few that bond with their mate for life, usually. So they are very very loyal. And that's why you see a lot of people say that birds are one-person birds, but they're not. They're flockers. That's kind of a weird word. Flockers, is that a word? I don't know if that's a word. But you can be part of the flock, but you won't be that bonded person or bird. Like, to give you an example, the green cheek conures are a bonded pair, but they like Jillian. They've accepted Jillian into their flock. They're like, okay, this little girl or this animal is part of our flock, and we're going to be nice to her.
Sandy Romo says, could you please talk about getting the parrots to trust?
Getting parrots to trust?
Yes.
The best thing you could do is you got to find out what they like first, and you got to kind of bribe them. The oldest trick in the book is find their favorite treat, and every time you see that bird, you give them that treat. So it could be a peanut, could be a sunflower seed, it could be, I know someone's going to be like, oh my God, oh my God.
Peanuts.
It could be an orange, it could be an apple, it could be whatever his favorite thing is, or that bird is, and you give it to him. And then, then you just slowly but surely work with it. And then you start petting them. And then, you work on talking to them. If you get another sign that I meant to tell people is when your bird whistles to you softly and clicks, that's a good thing. Like if you go up to them and you whisper to them and they're whispering back and they're doing them soft little whistles and they're doing soft little clicks, that's a really good thing. That's them. I don't want to say bonding with you right there because some people take that wrong. That's the step in the right direction.
There you go.
But to get them to trust you, it just takes time. Just like a human being, it just takes time. You got to show them that you're not a danger. And when they do bite you, you don't want to flip out on them, and you don't want to back down. You want to stand there. You might not want to have your hand in his mouth anymore or your arm in his mouth anymore, but you don't want to run away from them. You don't want to say, okay, I'm going to leave you alone. You stand right there and stand your ground and say, guess what? That bite did nothing to me. I'm going to stand here and say hi still.
Oh my God, no way. He's like a dinosaur. She will bite my fingers off. I've tried to give her something.
Leave it in a bowl. If they're on a perch, leave a bowl in their cage. It's just for that treat. And every single time you'll see that she'll get less aggressive with you every time she sees you go to that bowl. And then after she sees that and she's not showing aggression there, then you want to start maybe trying to hand it to her, maybe through the cage so she can't get to your fingers. And you can, we got to do a video. I'll show people how to hand food to a bird. I know most of them will know, but we'll do little things like that. So if they go at your fingers, they're going to go at your fingers. If they're just going after food, they won't get your fingers. And we'll show you. Max will do good for me. Max will take anything from me.
Mine is never confined to the cage door. Is always open. Has full range of a room when I'm at work. The house when I'm gone. Is that too much freedom? 49-year-old blue and gold.
Well, this is some of the dangers that people don't know about. I have actually seen birds destroy homes. There's a picture somewhere of a house that's burnt down from a free-range bird. They don't know what electric wire is, just like a cat won't. They don't. I mean, if it's flying around, you've got a gas stove, and they fly around. They can turn on the gas pretty easily.
Or climbing around.
Or yeah, they can almost do anything. You got to think that they're inquisitive. They want to know what everything is. So that's a danger that a lot of people don't like to hear. But letting your animal have free roam when you're not home is very dangerous. Just because of them, they can get to anywhere. They can do anything. You want to know where your bird's at. Now, if you have a free roam room, that's a little different if it's bird proof. I mean, I've seen birds, no joke, turn on the water and plug a sink and water be all over the floor. And if you're gone hours, guess how much water that is?
Or they could eat something that could harm themselves or break something and get cut up at anything.
That's one of the things is you do want to cage your bird when you do leave. Unless, I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but that's what I personally would do, just because of them dangers. Other dangers that people don't think of, I don't even know. Free flight, there's a danger in that. I mean, you got to know your bird, because I know Andrew lets Caesar free flight all the time.
Yeah.
Andrew's had that bird for 30 years, right?
32, yeah.
32 years. That's a little different than someone that's had a bird for a year. Free flight does have its dangers, and we've seen a few on no flocks given that they lost their bird. And then that one person just got her cocktail back. Yep,
that was Jules, I believe. Yeah, Jewel.
I don't think she was free flight. I think it flew out the door, right?
Flew out the door, yeah.
That wasn't even a free flight. That was flying out the door. So there's just because there's a danger doesn't mean that you're a bad bird owner. If you do something that's dangerous, don't mean that you're a bad bird owner, and you're never going to hear me sit there and go, you piece of garbage, like some people do. Everything's a learning experience. Like I tell Laura to this day, let me know when the birds are out, except for Max. Max is always out. Because when I come home, one of our doors don't have a screen door. And they could fly out that door very easily.
That other screen door isn't the greatest either. So
yeah,
there's a screen door.
So we got to watch that. We could be that one of people saying, guess what? I would not take them conures outside and let them fly. They probably wouldn't come back. No. We know that. So free flight has a danger to it. Letting other people touch your bird has a danger to it. And not the danger to the bird, but the danger to the
other person can get bit really bad.
I mean, you got yourself a medium to large parrot. I mean, they can put a bite down pretty good.
And fast. Some people that don't own birds, they don't or aren't owned by a bird. I like to say that bird owns you. If they're not a bird person, they're not going to know what to watch for, and it's going to be too late. And then
it's done.
Could have all sorts of problems. People are like, oh, I'm going to sue you, or I'm going to get rid of your bird, or God knows what.
The other danger is big picture windows with birds that have free flight.
Yep, even the conures went into the window.
Even the conures, you got to have drapes up or tint them some way or something. Blinds, they see through it. They don't know what glass is. So they're going to be like, oh, yay. And if they get trucking, they're going to hurt themselves. Yes. That's a danger that many people don't understand. And mirrors, large mirrors, same thing. They think it's just more room to fly. So
yeah, Sylvia's bird does. She does fly, the one that was free range when she's at work. So she said thank you. She was looking for your input.
Yeah, you just don't want. I mean, I've seen birds. The one I talk about was a friend. It turned on his sink, plugged up. I don't know how he plugged it up. I don't know that part, but he plugged up the sink, turned on the water, and he was gone for like 3 hours. And there was water all over the house. I mean, all over the house. So, I mean, something just that simple.
Yeah, Caesar is awesome. Yep, Julie, me right out the door. That's
yeah,
the bird went.
It's very, very awesome that you found that bird, though.
That was so cool.
Not many people find their bird once it's gone.
No. The Moluccan would reach out of the cage and grab the shop workers. Max sides through the cage bars. Max will do that too. He'll just put his claw out and he'll try to reach for you or grab your clothes.
He does it to me.
It's so cute.
He does it to me, and when I say bye, bird, he gets mad.
He gets really mad.
I go, bye, bird. And he gets, like, really upset. And if I come back, then he gets all happy again. He all he wants me to do is take him out of the cage.
Yeah. I have a Facebook friend that's taken to court. She won, though, because he admitted that he knew the bird would bite, and he went up to the bird.
Here's something. If the bird is in your home and the person gets bit, there's nothing you can do. They could try to sue you all they want. All you got to do is say the bite happened in my home. There's nothing that can be done. Now, if you're outside, that's a little different. Just like a dog. If the dog is in your yard, it's gray. It's a gray area where the person, could say, I hit a ball over there and I was trying to get the ball, whatever. But if it's inside your home and your dog could basically almost maul somebody and you get away with it. It's just one of the things that in your home, it's a little different. That it's that animal's home too.
And with the bigger birds, people can get hurt pretty bad. They could get stitches. They could.
Except for me.
Yeah. Especially a Moluccan or a macaw, the bigger ones, I would never personally go up to somebody else's bird because I just know better. I would stand back a little bit because you have to read the bird too.
I have pet birds. I don't care.
I know.
Give you guys a story. There was a timber wolf when I used to run a Pet Supply Plus. I was that customer service manager, and a gentleman had a pair of timber wolves, and I clipped his nails because the vet had to put the dogs to sleep, put them under whatever you want to call it. They clipped their nails because they would bite, and I was the only other person that could touch the dogs, and the owner couldn't even clip their nails, and I clipped their nails.
Wow.
Them timber wolves were amazing. When they're 155 to 200 pound dogs, wolves, and they love seeing me. They got all excited, and guess how they earned their trust? When they came in, I gave them hot dogs. That was I had hot dogs for them. They love hot dogs, and them dogs love me. Or wolves. They're not dogs. They're wolves.
I downloaded the Nextdoor app. Well, I did that recently too, and I kind of like it. She flew into a place where you get X-rays on Monday, and she flew a mile from my home, from my apartment. Respect the beak. Yes, majorly respect the beak. I have matching two tattoos on each one of my arms, but they were not out of anger. It was just me learning, and I should have listened to Gary for the one, and I would not have had the one.
When your bird is going off, do not stick your arm near it. When your bird falls, don't try to catch it.
It'll be okay. The bird is
let the bird fall. Be okay. And because when you go to catch it, they're going to grab on with that beak because it's their third hand.
And they're going to grab hard when you try to pull away.
And yeah, they're like, "Oh, great!
Shit.
I'm going to get flung again."
Yeah, my one over here, it turned every shade of the rainbow. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Max has never broke the skin on me ever.
Yeah, he did on me, but he was scared. The one time he was scared. That was my problem. He was scared.
He has an issue with wanting to bite my chest though when I'm up there. He wants to grab. I think he just wants to grab a hold of my shirt. But he'll get my chest sometimes. He'll grab a hold of my shirt because I think he wants to get on me. The other day, Laura were you sleeping? No, you were gone. I got home. You were at that dinner, that lunch.
Oh, yeah.
And I got home and I felt bad for Max, so I opened up the door and he decided to get on me and to get on my shoulder and not get down. He didn't want to get down. He thought he was the king of the world, screaming at the top of his lungs.
I wish I would have saw that.
Because he was happy. And then once I got him back down, then he looked at me like, "Oh, great, I'm back down." But he was a good bird. He wanted to play with me that day.
When I bring Precious out in public, I always bring feathers with me. With me, all sizes. If they want to touch her, I let them touch the feathers. Even bring a sandwich bag full of chest feathers to reach in and touch. That's cool.
That's actually a really good idea.
I'd be afraid to let anybody touch Max in public.
That's
a very good idea.
That's an awesome idea.
They can touch feathers, not the feathers that are attached to that beak that could.
That's probably the most intelligent thing I've heard of.
That is awesome.
In public.
Rusty lived with 3 wolves. That's awesome. 1 timber and 2 half timber and half Arctic. That would have been so cool.
Timbers and grays are my favorite. I owned a timber for a long, long time, and we had to get rid of it because now this. Remember when I told you guys about the yard rule and the house rule? Well, the Timberwolf was an outside dog. She just didn't like being inside. She would go nuts. And the person that lived across the street, I lived out in the country, his dog would come over and she killed the dog. And so we went, we had the court date and blah, 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 blah. And I ended up giving the Timberwolf to my friend that had a farm. And I think he had like 12 acres, 15 acres. And he said he never had any chickens killed again. And he fed the dog and he never could touch her because she only liked like 5 people. And I was one of them. And then, of course, my parents and my brother and sister. But he said he could never touch it, but he never had a chicken die. Nothing died in that farm. And that dog had free run of that farm. Or should I say wolf? I keep saying dog. It's a wolf. Had free run of that farm. And I was just lucky enough that I had a friend that would take that animal, so she didn't have to be put down. She was a female. It's still a really, really big, loyal puppy. Her name was Sheba.
I'd take one of the birds to the vet because he fell all the time. The vet did blood work. He called and told me that he was surprised that he was even alive.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
When birds can't perch, that's the number one thing. If a bird can't perch, something's wrong.
Thank you. That reminded me of what Jill asked earlier. She said, why do people freak out when birds are on the bottom of the cage? Is that because of when they're dying?
Yeah, not when they're dying, when something's wrong. When a bird's not perching, it's telling you something. There's something wrong. It could be it's dying. It could be it's hurt. It could be dehydrated. It could be malnourished. It could be anything. A bird at the bottom of a cage is a very bad sign. Birds don't do that. I mean, there are ground-dwelling birds that do that, should I say, but the birds that we have in captivity, if you see them down at the bottom of the cage and not on their perch, something's wrong.
She says that her bird loves it in the bottom of the cage. She has the food and water down there now.
Interesting. Hey, there you go. The one that got taken to the vet?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I think it was the same bird, but it's the same person we're talking about.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just birds that don't perch. Like if Max was down at the bottom of the cage sitting, now he gets down there and plays all the time, and he hops around like a chicken. But
or if they're rocking.
Yeah, rocking's not a good thing either. Rocking is actually a how should I say it? There's a couple different rocking, but if a bird is trembling and rocking, it's a sign of one of the signs of being scared, agitated. But then it's not all the time. Like after Max gets out of the shower, he's shivering, and that's to dry himself off and warm up.
He perches all the time and just goes down there to play. I can take videos. Yeah, it'd be awesome to see videos and pictures. I'm a picture and video addict. I take a gazillion pictures and videos.
I think every single person listening to this should take videos and pictures and put them up on NoFlock.
Yes.
Oh, No Flock's given. Just keep putting them up there. Post all the pictures you guys want. Post pictures of your cages. Post pictures of you feeding them whatever you want to feed them.
Or you can even post it on Max's page. That'd be awesome.
Max's page too. There you go.
Max.
So
Thank
the
you.
pictures are amazing. Oh, I don't have that. I thought someone PM'd me.
There was. How often should they shower?
Mine is on the bird. Max showers every other day.
Yeah.
If you like the smaller birds, offer them a bowl of water, and they'll do it. Them kinders do it every day.
Oh my God, they love. Well, the female loves to get in the water. The male's like, he's still used to the little water bowl in the cage. He'll go in that, but I got a bigger bowl. And he's not too sure about it yet.
Yeah, some birds like it, some birds don't. If your bird don't like it, then you might not want to do it. Max loves it. Max looks forward to it. So if your bird likes it, give it to him every other day or so.
Helps cut down on the powder and the dust.
It cuts down the powder and the dust. You do not want to get them soaked right before bed. You want to make sure they're dry before it's nighttime and all that other stuff.
Yep, I know you have a macaw, Sylvia. I
think
I remember him.
Blow drying
or her.
Birds.
I've never blown dried Max. I think I'd traumatize him. He just does it by himself. As well. I'm air dry.
The heater core inside the blow dryers emit, so you don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's right. Jill has never showered. She just in the water bowl at the sink. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
They're taking baths.
So I mean, just because it doesn't want to take a shower, wants to do it in a bowl or a sink, it's all the same.
It's good for their feather growth too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Precious loves it. She's a blue and gold macaw. Sandy Romo's got an African gray. Is that you have African gray, Sandy, and a severe, I think? I gotta scroll back up. I'm pretty sure you said severe.
That's the severe. The severes are awesome.
Is that a smaller macaw, if I remember correctly?
Severes? Yeah.
What are the ones that are about yo big? The body's about this big. Okay. I was right.
I don't think everyone thinks like blue and golds are huge. If you take the feathers off any of them, birds are small.
To me, they're huge. This blue and golds and the scarlet and the green wing. I would think that the scarlet would be the green wing, and the green wing would be like their names would be flip flop, but they're not.
No, because the scarlet don't have green in their wings.
Oh.
The green wing has green wings, and the scarlet has yellow.
Yes, thank you.
Wait, I'm not even the bird person.
Shush. Well, I was thinking scarlet. It would just be the one that's more red, because scarlet is that's what I'm talking about. That's where I got that from.
Green wings tend to be a little bit bigger. Than there's scarlets too.
There was two of them at the rescue when we got Max, and they were so beautiful, but they wanted nothing to do with me.
That one like me.
Yeah, but then when no one was around, one would come up to me and he was nice to me, but they said be careful, and they're huge. I'm afraid of them. Their voice is big, powerful, bassy.
If we had the room, I'd get another conure. I'd get a cherry head.
Yeah.
Just have fun, but we don't have room.
I also have a Amazon redhead and a double yellow cat. I want to see all these birds. Please post
Amazons are so underrated. I see so many bird groups that go, I got a macaw, I got African gray. Amazon parrots are so underrated. They're great talkers.
Yes.
They have personalities. They like to play. I think a lot of them are just green, and not many people like that color. It's green.
Yep, I think that's what it is.
But Amazons are so underrated, so bad.
Remember that one at the rescue when we picked up Max?
Mm-hmm.
He was singing some country songs, and it was just crystal clear, and he was talking up a storm, and like, oh, you want that one? I did. I won't lie. I thought it was really cool that he was talking like mad, but there wasn't that bond wasn't there, and that neediness wasn't there, and it wasn't. Max wanted me. He chose me. He demanded me, and that's what.
Are you trading Max in?
No, no.
For a couple finches.
No, and he loves to cuddle, and he's so needy. I think that's what drew me to him. He's so funny. I never really liked a conure because I've been bitten too much. Then Jewel chose me at Petco. I love him so much. A lot of personality. Yep. The conures are kind of nippy, but I think if you had one and it calmed down.
Are not nippy.
Well, they just
We've
still getting
had
used to
them
us,
for 3 weeks,
which is nothing. I bet you they'll calm down, just like any bird. They need to be with you and know that they're safe and they can trust you, and everything calms down. Like these guys are already calming down.
Conures are another one that's underrated. Conures are great birds, and they play like dogs. They roll on their back. They'll play with balls. They have tons of fun. They're loud.
My redhead Amazon is bilingual and speaks Spanish and English. That's cool.
That's the coolest thing I've heard today.
That is awesome.
That is really cool.
I want to see them. I want to see videos and pictures. I never saw a red-headed Amazon. My red-headed Amazon. I don't think I've ever seen one.
No, I was gonna say they had one, but that was a Nate. Yeah, Amazons are just underrated. I think Amazons get a bad rap.
I know one thing I hit on. I hear people say birds at rescues are always damaged birds and they're trouble, and I really don't think. I mean, I think they put that where they're nippy and they're bitey, and well, they're scared. It's not like they're like some birds. Yes, they might have been abused. Like someone said, "Oh, Max had a rough life." I don't know that. Max could have been like they said that a gentleman brought him in. He surrendered him. He had cancer. He couldn't care for him anymore. I don't know if he was abused. I don't think so because I got spoiled with Max. I won't lie. I was spoiled rotten. I got lucky. He is the biggest love bug. He's been like that from the moment I picked him up. And even the moment I went over to his cage, he was so sweet and so like he was trancing me, like sucking me in. And I have never seen a mean bone in his body in this past 10 months. I've seen him a little bit. I've seen him scared and very timid. Like I thought he was broken when I first got him because I saw Andrew's Caesar and a few other Moluccans, and they're just these wild childs that they're screaming and they're either screaming or they're like all excited or they're cuddly. I'm like, well, he cuddled and he was really affectionate, but he didn't make any noises, and he was so docile and gentle, and then all of a sudden, poof, he came out of his shell, and that was so cool. But I don't think all birds at rescues are damaged. They're just there because someone gave up on them, or someone couldn't handle them anymore, or they got sick. And I'm sure there are some birds that were abused. Probably quite a few.
But there's none of them damaged. They all have a story.
Yes, they do. And that's what's
because
cool.
None of them birds, and I know someone's going to get mad about this statement, none of them birds asked to be locked up in a box.
No, they haven't.
And that's what we do technically is lock these birds up in boxes for our entertainment.
Hi, Andrew. We were just talking about you.
And none of them asked for that. So to get upset that they're bitey now after they go to a rescue or they're pluckers or this and that, I mean, they're different. They're not wild, and they're put in a cage. So and someone's gonna say they were captive bred. They never knew what the wild was. They do. They know freedom. They don't like their cage. They want to be free. But I mean, they're not damaged at all. I mean, the people that have plucked birds that post pictures, I think they're just as cool as one that's fully feathered.
Yeah. Hi, Tiffany. Hi to Andrew. Andrew, how did you teach Caesar to fly? How did you get him to fly back to you? I know you've had him for 32 years, but how does he just not take off?
She does. It's a she.
A she. I'm sorry. It's the first thing I did. I've ever called Caesar a boy, and I am so sorry.
Jeez, I'm not even part of the group that much. I'm just the person that makes the rules.
Queen. Queen Caesar.
I just make the rules.
There's a funny video. I don't know if you've seen it of Caesar and Andrew. Caesar's on the roof, and I think he was up in the trees. Up in the trees, and he came down on the roof, and he was taking the leaves out of the gutter, and then he starts eating Andrew's roof, and it was hilarious. It was funny. My friend has a Mobella. Yeah, I think that's an umbrella and a Mollucan. Yeah, she's pretty quiet. Is it?
I wish Max was quiet sometimes.
He's a character.
That's the only thing I would have to complain about owning birds. Is when you want them to be quiet, they're not quiet. Whenever you want, it's like, okay, I'm going to get my 2 hours sleep now.
There's a rescue tours from here. I see pictures on Facebook from the umbrella and the cockatoo, but her chest has little feathers. But you know what, Nicole, that could change drastically. Like, I've seen a lot of birds where they were adopted and they were pluckers, and then through trust and love and patience and good food, and they just slowly come back and bathing and time and
Yeah,
patience. You'd
just
miracle
because they
without
pluck
those.
doesn't mean they won't get their feathers back. But just because they can get their feathers back, don't mean they will.
Yep. And more than likely the rescue will say, oh, they're plucked, they're for life. Well, you don't know. Love and patience and time and good food, don't know what it could do for a bird. Or they could stay plucked.
Yeah, it could be halfway between two. You never know. Because plucking damages something in the skin. I don't know the technical term for it, but it damages that for the growth. But I've seen pluckers grow back. I've seen birds that pluck their tail feathers, and the tail feathers come back over and over, and they pluck their tail feathers. And I don't know why. Green cheeks are really bad about it. Green cheeks pluck their tail feathers for some reason all the time. For the ones that get stressed out, it's like the first feather they go for.
Cataract. My W-old Hamzan is a rescue and has a cataract, hoping to get it removed. Well, that's nice of you, Sandy. It's very nice.
I didn't know birds could get that.
I've seen a couple. There's lately there was I think an umbrella on one of the bigger cockatoo pages, or a Moluccan with it too. Oh, Tiffany, forget talking on the phone at my house. Yeah, I actually have to go outside if Max is up on a roll or upstairs, and usually outside's better because then I can actually hear. Tiffany Dunn, I know she has quite a few conures, if I remember correctly. She has her mom's conures there and hers.
I would love to get another conure, sun conure, or something. We just don't have the room for another bird, I don't think.
I'd love to get a sun conure or a gray.
Let's trade Max in.
No. Or my dead body, Max is not leaving until I'm dead. Then you guys
me and
can
Max
do what you
already
want.
talked. He don't like you anymore.
Yeah, right.
You don't give him scratches.
Oh, really?
I gotta get this stuff up in the safe.
Yeah.
For everyone, you want to see 5 ounces of silver? That's 5 ounces of silver. Wait, there we go. That camera do.
Is that showing?
It's not.
I can't see it.
Oh, you're watching live. They can see it. Watch. See.
Oh. Oh, nice. That's the camera that's on. I was
It's
thinking it was the other one where you
it's a-
can't see me.
quarter. It's a Block Island quarter, but it's 5 ounces of silver. Stuff we got from when we used to have a store. Here's a 1921 silver dollar. Pretty cool.
Jill, Tiffany's talking about she has quite a few conures. And when they get going, it's hard to talk.
Yeah, conures are loud. Conures, everyone's like, oh, cockatoos. Oh, conures, sun conures give them run for their money.
Really?
Sun conures get loud.
So it'd be a trip having sun conure and Max?
Oh, jeez.
And other conures?
Jeez, the other conures are quiet. They do their own little whistles.
And they sound like little dog toys sometimes.
Yeah, they don't know a lot of sun conures. Oh, jeez, they're loud, but it's a bird. Who cares? It's all the same. Yeah, see that camera is looking better than this camera right here. See,
Uh-huh.
I've been sitting like this. People can't see me on YouTube. Well, no one's on YouTube anyway.
Yep, I think they're all on No Fox.
Yeah.
I don't know about whistling. I haven't checked whistling for a while.
No one's on whistling. They're all at No Flux.
That's cool. Can I tell them about the forum that you started up?
Yeah, we can talk about the website a little bit right now. If you go to whistlingradio.com, you'll see that Whistling Radio is actually up and going now. I'm going to start blogging on there, and I'm going to teach Jillian, teach Laura how to blog. The articles you'll see now, what it's about, and No Flux Given a Place to Be Yourself. I did a little article on that. Every day or every other day, I'm going to do a little article, do something. Maybe I'll start, talk about, like the top 10 things to give birds, whatever. We'll figure out little topics. You'll be able to listen to the podcast, like I said, to show 2. I messed up recording it, so you're going to have to watch it on YouTube if you guys want to watch show 2 again. But show 1's up, and show 3 will be uploaded up there, and you'll be able to listen to it right from Whistling Radio. You can actually, advertise with us. Donations can be done there. Facebook, go to our Facebook page. The forums. The forums are a place that is old school, but it kind of means something to me. I used to run some of the larger reptile forums, and this have news and announcements, stuff like that. It gives us a place that you can post about, just cockatoos in the cockatoo section, just Amazons. You can do cockatiels and stuff like that, and it'd be very specific in them forums. And I actually have a classified. I put it as Adoption Central for live, Toys and More for toys and stuff, and then Cajun accessories. We've got a nice little classifieds there. If anyone needs help with shipping anything, I can help you ship it. I can walk you through the steps to ship anything, even live animals. And then we got Max YouTube channel link up there, and then we got No Flux Given Facebook page link up there. So it gives a kind of a central area, and I'll be working on the site a lot. I'll be adding features, stuff like that. I might even add an arcade to the forum where if you're joined, you can play Pac-Man and Pitfall and Tetris and all them games. I just gotta code the back end a little bit more. So we'll have that done. So Whistling Radio the bulk is there. I might be doing a little bit more to the template or the way it looks by adding a better logo, stuff like that up there. But the gist of it is up. It's ready to go. If someone's interested in advertising, I got that information, like I said, up there. If you're a business, if you're selling toys or caging or whatever, if you know
or
someone.
Shirts
or shirts, whatever.
I think Tiffany does shirts and vinyl, I believe.
Yep. And then we got the donation link if you're wanting to get the information there, like I said. So, and then you can actually search the site too. So let's say next month, I got 30 or so articles up there. You'll be able to search for them articles that you had favorites article up. And I'm going to teach Laura how to do it too. So whistlingradio.com is up. It's working great. The next thing I'm going to add to it is the live chat room. So that's going to be something that that should be fun. You should be able to go on there and we can have a chat night. That could be something else we do instead of just doing radio. We could do like a chat night and do a topic on it or whatever. It don't matter. All the contests are going to be listed here when I get the contests going. And all the prizes that we're going to be giving away be listed on whistlingradio.com. And just everything's going to be centralized right there. And, of course, we're going to post it on the Facebook page and No Flux Given. We'll be posting it there. On Max's YouTube page, we'll probably be posting it there. We'll probably be starting an Instagram for Whistling Radio and Twitter account, but that starts getting to be a lot when I got like 5-6 radio shows.
I got the Instagram handle, just
so we'll get that going, but it's working out pretty good. It's working out pretty good. I'm liking what I see.
Thank you, Rusty. Where'd you post it, on Max's page or No Fox or Whistling Radio? I posted a picture of my birds and my bird. Yeah, you said your birds were stuffed, Rusty. I seriously believed you. You actually have birds? You ass.
And if you guys want your birds and a story about your birds posted on Whistling Radio, send me some pictures of your birds. Tell me a story about how you got them or a funny story about the birds. I'll post it up as a blog on Whistling Radio. Just send me the pictures and send me the story you want me to post with it, and we'll get it posted up. All you got to do is email Gary@whistlingradio.com. That's simple. You email me that information, and we'll go ahead and we'll get it featured on Whistling Radio as a story, and I'll post it on, like I said, No Flux Given and our Facebook page and other Facebook pages, and you're more welcome to share the links anytime you want. So if you want to be put up there, just send me that information, and we'll get it put up there. So what else we got? You got anything else?
I think there was one more. Let me see.
She's reading.
I think you did
One,
the other one, odd
two.
dangers that nobody knows of. I think
Yeah, odd dangers. There's a lot of different odd dangers. Like I said, there's a lot of different odd dangers. We're gonna have to really dive into that.
Yeah. The one with the free, that's good that you hit on the free roaming because, I mean, I think people get guilted into that. Like, it was like, oh, you cage your bird, you do this, but we're safe in their bird. Like, people say, how come Max has never destroyed anything?
The free roaming's not letting them loose in a room. Free roaming to me is the whole house.
Yeah.
I would never let the birds have free roam of the whole house with nobody home. I wouldn't do it. There's just too many little dangers going on. When I'm home, birds can be all they want. I don't care.
I won't even do it if I'm out of the room because it just happens like that so fast.
Well, then if the house blows up with us in it, we're gone too, so whatever. I have a sick sense of humor.
Like, I was even watching Max, and he got at my table my son made me. It's just a little nick, but I was like, oh my God, what the hell? And there's these people that their birds just do tons of damage. I'm like, yeah, it's not a big deal. Now it's got a character mark, but I never leave him unattended because I don't want him to get into something that's going to hurt him or potentially kill him or be a major, destructive thing that we have to replace in the house. So
I agree.
That's just me, though. I mean, everybody can do their own thing, but.
So, anything else you want to hit on?
Nope, I'm pretty good.
Are you sure?
I lost the
You lost.
I lost no flocks now.
Well, no flocks have taken off hair.
That's a first because I never miss no flocks. That's like my other Facebook. It's no flock, not Facebook. It's no flocks given book.
I like the page. I like no flocks.
So do I. I really enjoy it.
They get my humor. And the rules are very important to follow, everybody.
I'm back. I can only imagine what you guys talked about. My 3-year-old barfed all over me in my bedding. Oh, I'm sorry. Hope he feels better.
That's not good.
No, that's not any fun.
But the shows are going to be up in the lives. You can rewatch them, or you can. I'll have the show uploaded on the Whistling Radio, and we'll be able to listen to it.
I recall when it was at my mom's, he used to free roam, and his favorite thing to do was eat the rugs and electrical cords. Ooh, that could be dangerous, couldn't it?
Yeah. Electrical cords.
Very dangerous for the bird.
The rugs, no. The rugs are nice.
Yes, Celeste just got back on. We were talking about free roaming when you're not home. All the dangers that could happen. Like Gary knows a guy that the bird had somehow plugged the sink and turned the water on.
Mm-hmm. For like 3 hours when he's gone.
And there was another one where a bird blew up a house, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was blew up. It burnt down part of the house. The bird was on. I read the article. It was posted on Facebook or somewhere I was reading it. It was African gray or something.
Holy cow. Who do you have now, Celeste? I know you have Merlin. You just got Merlin not that long ago. And you have your mom's blue and gold, and you have canaries. What else? Who else do you have there for your flock? Good idea, Sandy. Yeah, that's a good idea. Keep your bird alive in your house in one piece. A golden conure. I don't know if is that the ones with the lighter colored conure? Like it's got like more of a yellowish, goldish color to them, plus the green. And a parrotlet. Oh, what color parrotlet? Where are all these birds? I want to see them. I think I've only seen Merlin and your green wing. I think that's the only ones I've seen. If I saw the other ones, I'm sorry. Yes, I know the golden conure. I've seen quite a few people with them.
Are you sure?
Yes. In fact, I just saw someone had just posted I think it's Matt on No Fox. I'm pretty sure has the goldish one. I said the wrong name. I'm sorry, Golden Conure. I've seen Jasper. Yes, I have. I saw Jasper this morning. I remember because your girlfriend or your wife was molesting him, and you were teasing her about it.
Oh wait, yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
And then he says it's just lust. She says I'm in love with him already, and he says no, that's just lust.
Bonding takes a little bit more than a couple of days.
Yeah. It was cool that Max was like that from the day I just got spoiled rotten with him. It was a huge difference from him and then the Conyers. I'm like, what the heck? I was spoiled with Max.
So what else we got?
I think that's about it.
So you want to tie it up, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we'll go ahead and tie this up then. I'm getting tired, guys. Like I said, we're going to be looking to do another show maybe twice a week at the beginning of the year. We'll do something during the middle of the day or something and get that going. Then we're going to, every Friday at 9 p.m., we're going to be doing the show. That's not a problem at all. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking to you guys and having fun and just like I said, just chilling for a couple hours with all the bird lovers. I appreciate you guys tuning in.
You can't beat a bird who's trained to eat in his cage.
What's that?
Rick says, or fight. I always say it wrong. Fight risk. You can't beat a bird who's trained to eat in his cage.
You can't beat a bird?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
No, you don't want to beat a bird. That would be good, especially a big one like that.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's a very intelligent person.
Yes, he is very intelligent.
I agree with the stuff he's posting.
Yes.
So I like it. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and get this uploaded again, but you guys can watch it on the YouTube or you can watch it on Facebook, on No Flux Given, or on Whistling Radio. YouTube would have the best audio because I believe it goes to the mics. I'm not sure what the Facebook goes to, if it goes to the mics on these cameras or not. I can show you guys since you guys are looking at her. I mean, I got my like a little switchboard there, and it goes into a computer. Maybe I'll do a tour of the studio room one of these days. I got a camera. You can see behind her. There's a camera set up. I have that.
On his own cage. He takes his food back on his own. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That works.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to set it up where you guys can see both of us at all times. I don't know how to do that yet. I got 2 HD cameras. But
and one of these times we'll rope Max in here.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to get Max in here one day. That's going to be interesting. So, but I appreciate everyone tuning in today to Whistling Radio. It's always a joy. And we will catch you guys next week at 9 p.m. Central Time. So I'll have all the links posted, and I will work on the website some more and get some more goodies for you guys. All right, guys, we're out.
Later.
I got to end all these. There we go.